How's it going, guys? Winner Kills here. Welcome to another episode of the testing sessions. Today we are doing pure Mekk-Knight deck that I've been very excited to cover on this series as we head into season 2 of it. Important to note, as I'm recording this, it is December 15th, and that means the new ban list, as you can see, the new TCG Forbidden and Limited list is effective here on EDO Pro. So that's nice. If we play against any combo, which I doubt we will because we're on EDO Pro, we don't have to worry about like Buster Lock and all that stuff and insane hand trap proof combos via Link Cross. Another thing to note, though, speaking of Link Cross, is this deck did kind of get hit, indirectly by losing Link Cross. I have played Link Cross in Mekk-Knight previously, and mainly it was just used to instantly trigger Lib by just linking it off for the one link cross. But there was a cool combo that you could do as well that involved going Girsu for a token, linking the token into Link Cross, going into Morningstar, getting your search, and then linking the Morningstar into Link Cross, getting the tokens, tributing off one of the tokens for the Link Cross or the Link Karibo in the graveyard, and then linking the Link Karibo and the Link Cross into a Lib. So you lose that combo. It's a very resource efficient combo, granted, but I really wasn't playing it so much here in this extravagance build, so I'm not going to miss it too much, but I know a lot of Mekk-Knight players did enjoy that combo. So losing it does suck, but I mean, the deck still has plenty of good cards to work with, and Acid Blind going second deck, the fact that Smoke Grenade and big combo decks like Dragon Link are kind of falling out of favor, it really does help this deck out quite a bit. Now, another thing to note, the format has kind of shifted more in the favor of like Invoked Eldic and Virtual World and all that stuff, and even the new Drytron deck is going to be kind of well represented, I feel like, in the coming months. I feel like this deck does have decent matchups against those. If control decks are going to become more popular in the meta, Mekk-Knight just kind of inherently struggles against them. So maybe I'll move Lightning Storm into the main deck, which is something you might actually see me do here instead of the Raigeki and Harpy's Feather Duster. I actually was playing Lightning Storm before I put the Duster and the Geki in, but I decided to swap them out because these have the ability to be used at any point in your turn. I don't know if I'm going to change it here, but I think we'll leave it for now just to see if it actually does come up or not. But as you can see, standard list run, double Nibiru, Geki Duster, double Book of Moon, Forbidden Droplet, Infinite Impermanence. We have a lot of going second hate here, and the side deck has plenty of going first hate because we have to prepare for our opponent to, force that gimmick upon us. Like, oh, you're playing Mekk-Knights? Okay, you go ahead and go first. And that is a very scary situation to be in because if you don't draw Girsu, you're going to have a very bad turn. Because Girsu is your only motive of playing independently of what the opponent does turn one. So very big reliance on playing or seeing Girsu if you do go first. I think I have a Cyberse mech build. This is this version here. As you can see, it plays Ibli, Sign Up Mining, and the Link in for Flyer. So this version, and of course with the Mekk-Knight Abram, so there's a lot more ways to see a normal summon turn one that help you create a column independent of what the opponent is doing. So the consistency is there, but the power level I feel is a bit lower because Girsu, let's be honest, adds so much potential in terms of the power ceiling to the deck, but it does come at the cost of consistency, unfortunately, and sometimes literally not being able to do anything if you go first. So we're going to try to find some games here. Hopefully we can find some good ones, but I do want to mention right now a quick way you guys can support the channel. If you're interested in picking up some high-quality TCG gear and accessories, consider checking out ImperiumDuelist.com at the link below. Feel free to use my discount code WinnerKills10 off at checkout to get 10% off your entire order and support the channel in the process. And, of course, if you're buying anything on drawphase.com or tcgplayer.com, don't forget to check out the affiliate links I have to their sites down in the description below. If you guys shop and check out using those links, a small bit of the revenue from your purchase will go right back in the channel, and it does help out greatly. And if you want exclusive behind-the-scenes content, members-only videos, and early videos, consider becoming a member today by clicking the blue join button or the link in the description. But with all that out of the way, we're gonna get into some matches here, and again, and I know not everybody's a huge fan of all the shout outs I do every video, and I'm trying my best to streamline them, so I hope you guys can understand. But let's find some matches. All right, it looks like we got our first opponent here. We're gonna see if we can get this good old die roll underway, and see if we can't swing, you know, a nice little going second game here for our first game. If he decides to pick a rock, paper, or scissors, boulder, parchment, shears, there we go, and we tie. All right, let's try it again. Paper, paper. Let's see. This is the most exciting part of the video, I know. All right, we finally win that epic battle of rock, paper, scissors, shoe, and we open probably what is the most busted hand I think we could ever open in Mekk-Knight. The double Book of Moon, the memory, the duster, and the indigo eclipse. So you could see, like, if we had to go first here, this hand would be pretty much abysmal. I'd probably just set a Book of Moon and a memory and pass because, well, we have no access to our extra deck here, unfortunately. No access to Lib, no access to Morningstar, but luckily we're going first, or going second rather. Okay, so we're starting with reasoning. Interesting. I'm gonna call level 3. And he's playing zombies, it looks like, so couldn't have guessed that. It's one thing I really like about reasoning is, like, has such good, like, you blind that card game 1, like, your opponent has 0 knowledge of the card, and it can just be like a free starter to get something like this on the board. But now I guess going forward, obviously in games 2 or 3, if we make it that far, you know, we have that knowledge now of what he's playing, what are some good levels to call. I mean, he did mill a Reborn and a Foolish, so that does hurt a little bit. Got to be honest there, losing those power 1 of spells is nice. So, I mean, especially Foolish Burial in a zombie deck, I would imagine losing that card is less than optimal. Also need to see how much space do I have on my... Okay, we're good. Got to check the SD card and make sure we've got plenty of space. Don't want to lose the epic duel footage that we've got going on here. Going into Vampire Sucker, has Mizuki. Mizuki's probably going to bring out the Ballard Rock, and I'm going to guess he's going to get to draw here or something. Yeah, from either graveyard, draw a card. So, like, one of the most basic combos here. Luckily, well, one of the biggest things we're concerned about here is the whole rivalry goes in, but we got a nice copy. We opened my favorite 2-card combo, Book Duster. And he did make the mistake of leaving a column for us, so we're going to just take complete advantage of that. This card isn't really hurting us right now because Zombie World is not on the field. So we're going to see if we can't just go right for blue for 2. Like, you know, I could have started with Duster, right? But then we lose out on a lot of stuff. He's going to impermit. That's fine. That's A-okay. So I think at this point, I really do want to hold the Duster, to be totally honest, just because Zombie World is going to be a hard card for us to deal with, especially if he's pairing it with a Floodgate. So as much as I really want to fire it off, I at the same time don't. I'm going to fire off this memory here and see what happens. Looks like it will go through. We'll go for purple, and purple is going to attempt to tag. We'll banish itself. We're going to grab Girsu here. Yeah, we're going to grab Girsu. And we're going to dump the Gauntlet to the grave. The Power Glove. So I'm not playing World Legacy World Chalice in here, importantly to note. I'm playing this card instead because it is a nice extender if you see it in the hand. Now we're going to link into Morningstar because we have no other choice. And we're going to attempt this effect. We're going to discard here. And Ice Dragon's Prison. All right. Ice Dragon's Prison. This card is exceedingly becoming more and more annoying to deal with. So it looks like he's going to banish both of those. I'm still going to take a secret here. And honestly, he's not going to banish either, which is funny. We're going to go battle phase here. And we're going to swing over this. He didn't summon it in the right column either to be able to actually do damage over top of our Morningstar, so that's fine. So, like, I'm feeling a little bit of remorse from not playing the Duster immediately. But, like, I still feel like we don't need to. And I might regret these words in like a turn or two, but yeah, we could have easily shotgunned the Duster. I'm just being... sometimes I have a problem with being more conservative than I should be. And I think a lot of players in general will have that problem. Especially players that are trying to improve. Spend a little too much time being conservative in their plays and actually making underpowered plays that end up like costing them the game regardless. And I myself have been victim of that several times. Just gotta know when to be aggressive and when not to be aggressive, I suppose, as much as a 5-head answer as that sounds like. We're gonna set we'll set both Book of Moons here unless he has a heavy Storm Duster, and we'll end phase, see what happens. All right, so keeping this Duster in hand, it could pay off. It might not pay off. There's Spirit Master that we 100. Well, we technically don't need to book it. It does tribute for cost though, which it still, I believe, it activates on the field. It will resolve on the field, thus being able to negate with secret. I'm gonna just burn a Book of Moon on that right now. That's a card we can't let go through at all. That card will generate so much advantage for him that our head will start spinning. He's gonna attempt to use that. That's interesting. I wonder why. Battle phase, we're gonna take 0 damage. He probably hasn't read Morningstar at this point, which really isn't a shocker. So who knows? Maybe taking the more conservative route here will benefit us. We just have to keep Zombie World off the field, because like imagine right now if he were to have Zombie World main phase 2. Then again, I don't know why he wouldn't have just played it in main phase 1. What if he had per se main phase 2? Everything we do in the following turn just basically invites a chance for him to banish something we have or negate something that we have, because Ballardrock actually is a pretty oppressive boss monster under Zombie World. Not under Zombie World, it's kind of hit or miss because you got to have zombie quick effects of your own. Yeah, it's because it says, oh, he's got another Ice Dragon's Prison. Man, you hate to see it. Well, that's fine, I guess. Morningstar's already done his job at this point. This guy is all over the place. And this is a dark monster, so... Oh, it doesn't have to be dark, I guess. The same type as each other. Okay, yeah, we're both machine. That makes sense. All right. That's all he's got. So we really didn't even need to... He just burned his back row for us, I guess. So we want to look at it that way. He literally just burned the back row for us. So we have two options here. We can go for blue off of this purple, or we can go for a Gearsu to get tokens and try to generate more advantage like that. But I think I'd rather go for blue than for the Gearsu to try to like play along like that. We still have the Gauntlet engraved, which is nice because we can try to grab Succession off a lib if we can get to it. You know, bring it back, get that instant search of memory to hand instead of having to set it and wait a turn. That's the biggest reason why I like World Armor. It's just a lot faster than World Legacy World Chalice. World Legacy World Chalice is great for like the grind game, but Mekk-Knight is a deck that I feel like shouldn't try to play the grind game, although it definitely can because I've experienced it time and time again myself. Just a card like Morningstar constantly recurring with a card like Secret, like that's enough to let turns pass by. But we'll see what happens here. Just thinking long and hard on this. I'm gonna grab blue. Duster is just waiting for him to play that that Zombie World. I really invite him to do it. So that's gonna go through. We're gonna grab Gearsu. This is our first summon. Nibiru is kind of looming in the back of my mind. We're gonna use this right now. We're gonna send World Crown here if he'll let us. We still have green in hand, which is pretty nice. We can actually set the Duster and attack that set Solitaire and try to grab a blue sky back, which would be nice just for discard fodder, for just free discard fodder. It's one of the main reasons I like green, because there's a lot of instances where recurring your Mekk-Knights back from your grave is very, very helpful. Come on, Dragoberto. If you didn't hand trap the purple, like, I don't even know exactly what he could use right now. I don't think, yeah, he has nothing in graveyard unless this does something. This doesn't activate. This can't activate right now, unless he's just bluffing and just taking a long time to activate his stuff. I don't know. We're gonna go for Lib right now, or see what's tempting is to go right for a Girsu or Galatea and then Dingirsu. Yeah, there's so many different lines we could take here. If we go for Morningstar first, we can pitch this, grab Succession out the dude, go for that, bing bang bong. No, we're gonna go for Lib first. That's what we're gonna do. I think we would definitely get to Avermax here. We're gonna use Lib, we're gonna set Succession, and when we set it, we're gonna summon Horizon first. I mean, we could summon Horizon anywhere, I guess it doesn't matter. But I was going to say, you know, we could just use it to create a quick column here instead of having to commit our Duster to the board, which is nice. We get to keep that in hand because that's obviously where it'll be most safe. So we'll set Succession. Set it right there. And I'm not going to summon the green just yet. We're going to bring back this. This is going to get us Memory. And the important thing is we're getting all of our non-Mekk-Knight summoning out of the way, so that once we play Memory, if we need to, we're not under any restrictions because we've already done all of the non-Mekk-Knight plays in Lib and bringing back World Armor and all of that good stuff. No Pot of Extravagance yet. Would have loved to have seen that card at the start of this turn. He's taken a really long time to think. I don't know what it is, man. I don't want to jinx it though. I'm happy we've even gotten this far. It's just gonna be like a running joke with this series, like just the quality of the matches that we get sometimes. All right, let's finally letting it go through after many years of deep thought. You know, we could actually grab Key here, which does sound pretty enticing if I'm being honest. Key can net us back. What do we have banished? Not too much, actually. I think it'd be better here to just go for... Whispers would be nice if we could stop field spells, but we cannot, so we're just going to add Memory. And we're going to... So this is the one reason why maybe I should have, you know, summon the green while we had the Succession there, because now I would have to commit the Duster to the field, which isn't the end of the world. We'd only be grabbing back a Girsu, which is actually really strong. We can't get over the Ballard Rock, but we can just get rid of it main phase 2, and we can clear the Indigo. So what we're going to do here is we're going to set this. We're going to summon this. And we're going to go battle phase. We're going to clear these two, and then we're going to make a Morningstar Avermax main phase 2. Yes. And actually, what we can do here, this is what we'll do. We're just going to add back blue here if he'll let us. And we're just going to use this as free discard fodder for our Morningstar. That way we can get Secret with Memory and possibly Whispers or Key. He seems like he's playing a very trap-heavy deck. So I think I'm actually more tempted to grab Key. A lot of power spells are already out of the deck. You know, 3 1-ofs right there. Reasoning, Reborn, and Foolish. So we're going to have to wait our standard 60 seconds here for him to decide. That's got to be... At least there's no Nibiru, because we've already would have gotten walloped with the Nibiru at this point. We're going to add that back. Battle phase, chain another card. No. Flip it up. That goes. We'll swing over for 100. And then, you know, what about the Ballard Rock? We'll get rid of it. We're going to get rid of it. 100%. Let's see what happens here. So another thing too with like World Legacy Key and continuous traps, I think the way that it works, and correct me if I'm wrong, but if you have Key up and you have like a Mekk-Knight in the same column as a continuous trap that they haven't activated yet, if they flip up Gozen under that Key while it's still live, I believe so long as that Mekk-Knight remains in that that column while Key is live, that the trap will be negated. Like its lingering effects will be negated for that time. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's how I've heard it be ruled in the past. We're going to key now. We're going to add back Gearsu. See, we still get our Gearsu back regardless, so we have a nice solid normal summon. Next turn, we're going to set this. We don't need it. We're going to make Avermax, which is going to be pretty hard for him to deal with unless he gets the Baller Drock off, which we're really not going to let him because we're shuffling it back right now. But I remember when I used to play Block Dragon BA, and I played against zombies a few times at locals. Yeah, he's just going to go on surrender. And hopefully, nope, we lose connection, baby. People don't like playing matches on EDO Pro. I don't care. I'm keeping that one in. There was a lot of good information there, and I feel like it'd waste time if I didn't include it into the video. God damn. All right, we found ourselves another opponent. Will we get a full match? Place your bets in the comments. Like, normally, I wouldn't keep in half a match. But I feel like I nailed that part. I nailed it. So it's staying in. Unless this one is absolutely fire. I mean, I'm still keeping it in if it is fire. So, we're going second here, which is great. We see a Mekk-Knight. It's green. He's not the best Mekk-Knight, but we still see a Mekk-Knight regardless. So I'm happy about it. I'm not complaining. He's setting a card. He's setting 2 cards. That's less work that we have to do. And that's why going second with mechs is just the way to go. So, he has 2 set cards here. They're looking kind of suspect, I might say. So, we're going to set this card here. We'll see what he does. We're going to summon this card here. We'll see what he does. We'll see what he does. Now, if he tries to do something funny now, we can just chain the purple, and that might force out 2 cards off of just 1 exchange. Which even then isn't such a bad trade-off. So we have 2 options. We can either just swing in for 25, play it super conservatively, like we were talking about the previous game, or we can attempt to use its effect, knowing that probably these cards might not stay around. Let's attempt to get in for 25. Let's see what happens. Let's play the slow and steady game here. Let's swing for 25. Let's see what he does. Let's get some damage on the board. We want to shorten the clock. There's 2,500 damage on the board. And now, a super cheeky battle phase purple Nightfall. Let's see what happens. There's a Fog Blade. So, we get some damage in when, you know, odds are we might have not been able to get some damage in. So, he's going to summon that. Or not summon that. He's going to Fog Blade it. Which was going to happen regardless, so, since he was going to wait for us to use it, so we might as well have gotten some damage in. So, the next option here is to, well, we could summon green and try to make a Morning Star, pitching the Succession, going for key. That's really the only other line of play that I'm seeing. So, let's go ahead and set this. He definitely knows the whole gimmick at this point. That's going to go there. We're committing... See, this is what I'm talking about with Mekk-Knights. You have to commit so much to the field to be able to play sometimes. That's why I'm not, a huge fan of the deck at the moment. But, you know, with combo on its way out, like, on the way down in terms of power level, you know, it seems like breaking these boards are much more doable. There's an Ash. That's honestly alright. We made him discard a card. Even though we pretty much already have the goods secured. We're going to set this. And we're going to pass. We've got the goods already secured in our hand. So we got him for 2,500 damage. Which, let's be honest, is about as much damage we were going to get in there. We made him burn a Fog Blade. We made him burn an Ash. So I feel like we're pretty solid right now. There's an Armageddon Knight, which is a problem. Now, we have 2 secrets here, which is huge. We don't even need to fire off our memory. And the best thing, too, is we can get our purple back in the process. And hopefully this will just go through fine and dandy, unless he has a Cosmic, but it's fine. Either way, because we have another secret and a memory. So that's going to get turned off, which is huge. Now, he could be playing... like Infernoble Knight. I know it sounds a little weird. He's going to surrender right then and there. Because that's literally all it takes is enough snowballing. Now he's going to go, he might go first again. So the side decking here gets a little wonky in terms of what to do. So we could put in the Duster package and try to just play with that. We could easily side out like Nibiru's. And you know what? I think that's what I'm going to do. We're going to demonstrate some going first side decking here. We're going to drop the Geki and that. We're going to put in these, and we need to cut one more card from the main. We'll cut a Forbidden Droplet. And we'll see what happens. We definitely know we need backer removal here. The Trap Trick will get us double use because we don't have to get just Heavy Storm Duster with it. We could get Impermanence if we need to. And the nice thing about that is the coolest thing about Trap Trick Impermanence is you can choose where you're going to set that card. So if you need to line it up directly with... So yeah, he did make us go first. You hate to see it. We didn't draw any good side deck cards. We didn't draw Trap Trick. We didn't draw Duster. We just draw these and essentially no way to play. I'm not even going to risk setting any of these cards. That's just how it plays out. Probably could have sided in the Sanctum stuff as well, but we really didn't get to see too much of his deck. He's gonna pass again. He's playing the waiting game here. I'm gonna set a Droplet, and I'm gonna pass. Because at this point, with all those cards in his hand, it's getting kind of risky. In terms of like if we have 0 interruption, like it's gonna look kind of bad. We need to at least So he is playing Orcus. Okay. All right. So now we see a memory. So now we can start to play like a control deck. We don't really care at this point if he hasn't done anything else. Now we can start playing into the Quicksand. We're just gonna set. Orcus does have a lot of Garnets in its strategy right now currently, so he could either be bluffing, or he might have a really brick hand. Must be nice to be able to discard the return for free like that to search a Girsu. That's exactly what he needs right there. Alright, so he has 8 cards in hand. I'm a little nervous. And I'm hoping... Well, if he does have Lightning Storm, we can negate it. That's at least a plus. There's Brass Bombard, which is pretty funny to see. We'll see what happens here. Link Karibo, I imagine. Okay. It's weird that he's not commit. Well, I guess he doesn't need to commit the normal summon to Girsu because he has Brass Bombard. That's fine. Who knows? Maybe shutting off this Girsu is enough to make him just pass turn again. And now he's basically forced himself to commit to a play. Means he's putting cards on the field for us to work with, which is no bueno for him. We could Droplet this. We don't even need to entirely reveal what our other cards are. And I think I actually am going to Droplet it. Can't respond with monsters, so that's good. We'll get rid of that. No using of the other effect either. And actually, by doing that, we can actually just use the secret in our grave now without having to go secret and memory altogether. The Galatea. The Galatea return to set. This is something we also probably want to turn off. Probably don't want him getting access to Babel or Orchestrated Return. That could severely unbrick his hand, which is what we don't want to happen. So we're going to summon Green Got Cheese, like a nacho. And no cards for him. No recycling. We still potentially have 2 more monster negates. And potentially a spell negate and a monster negate. So it really depends on how he decides to play this. So he's going to go for Ding. Which effect is he going to declare? Is he going to attach? He's going to send. This doesn't target, so we are forced here to chain this. And we just hope he doesn't have an Ash. He does have the Ash. So we at least get something out in this trade here. That's not terrible. We'll see what he sends. I imagine he'll send the secret. Yep, send the secret. So now his hand size is down to something a bit more manageable. He'll set one. Luckily for us, we still have a card in our hand to set ourselves. There's Pot of Extravagance. That is huge. We obviously have to start with that. We're going to banish 6, and we'll see what the damage is. He burned an Ash last turn. Does he have another Ash? He's got another Ash. What are you going to do? What are you to do? Well, that's one less thing he can Ash now. Let's see what we banish here. All of our Morning Stars are gone. But we still have a Galatea, and we still have Lib. And we still have an Avermax. So we're actually still not out of this. Even though we did lose Morning Star, we still have Lib, which is huge, because we can go like Lib, Galatea into like the Avermax that we have, and still assemble that like boss monster board that we want to usually get. So we're gonna set this, and we're gonna summon this, and much safer obviously to set in the same column as the Ding than in the same column as this back row here. Let's hope it's not another Crescendo, right? At least we're safe from Ash here, which is fantastic. We're going to... We have a Succession set, too, which is really good. That'll help us out a lot to get some more advantage on the board. Yes. Now, if this is a spell, which I doubt it is. Maybe it is. Maybe it's a bluff spell. We can just have it be negated when he tries to activate it next turn. What we can do is try to specifically have... whatever Mekk-Knight monster that we can put out be in this column here, just to be able to turn it off. We're going to send Gauntlet here. And yeah, so even if we're losing all of our Morning Stars, which is probably, from what I understand, a lot of people's biggest concerns when it comes to playing Extravagance and Mekk-Knights is, what do you do when you lose all of your Morning Stars? Like, right? What's the follow-up play from there? And I totally understand. So what comes... I think we can still get access to a Dingirsu, or not a Dingirsu here, but a Avermax. So what we need to do is link these into Lib. We already have Succession. So Lib could set us a secret. And then we can set Succession back for Gauntlet. Gauntlet gets us a search of Key. Trying to think how would be the most optimal way to play this out. Or we could go for Galatea. Let's just go for Lib here. We gotta go for Lib. I don't think we'll actually be able to get to Avermax. I think we're like one extender short. We're gonna set the secret. I believe we already summoned purple via its own effect here, so we can't, Actually, what we will do, instead of summoning World Armor, so we have Secret Whispers. Be really nice to be able to have access to both here, but we can't, unfortunately. So we're going to summon back this Girsu, and we're going to do some sussing. We're going to go into the Galatea. We're going to use Lib. We're going to shuffle back the back row. Get that back. And we're going to make a Ding of our own here. And we are going to send his Ding. Which I should have done this the other way. Because now he has a Ding and a Galatea in graveyard. Luckily, his graveyard is empty right now. There's no Orcus cards in him for him to use. We're just going to send that off. Yeah, so that was potentially a misplay there. Just the sequencing of how I should have done that. And we'll get in for 26. We did lose all of our Morning Stars, which is rough. And the Extravagance got ashed, which is double rough. Will we be able to get in? Does he have Gizmek? I always forget about Gizmek when I play against this deck. So, main phase 2. We still have... What do we have in grave here? We have a purple... Or we have a blue, we have a Girsu, we have Gauntlet, or, yeah, Armor. I always call it Gauntlet. That will do it for our turn. We have, and the nice thing, too, is all of our back row is safe because of Ding. That's the one nice thing about Ding. Obviously, it offers the great removal, but it does come in clutch in protecting all of our spells and traps. Yeah, we could have potentially gone to Zeus there. As you see, I'm not playing Zeus. I don't think it's 100% needed. I feel like a lot of times, it obviously depends on the board state. Like if you're top decking, you know, being able to go into a Zeus is very, very nice. But for this specific situation, having a Ding I think is much better because it will protect our back row. I can't speak some of these times, I swear. There's Rhoda. Rhoda's gonna get Dark Grepher or Armageddon Knight. This is a card I have to negate this. I can't let him get Rhoda. I mean, could have technically let him get whatever he gets off Rhoda, then negate that, but that feels like too much of a liability for me. Mainly because if he gets Grepher, like that's going to activate in hand, that's already going to do the job, even if it hits the field and it's negated. So we'll just see. We'll see. Turning off a Rhoda, though, is pretty good. We'll see what he does. What's his follow-up going to be? Maybe he desperately needed that Rhoda to go through. So, also curious to find out what that set card that he had was. Watch it have been a set Rhoda as like a bluff, and then we shuffled it back, and then he drew it for turn. On EDO Pro with the algorithm set this game as, I wouldn't be surprised. The amount of times those weird instances have happened. Like way back in the day when I used to play Mermail, and I'd play Yazi and Mermare and Destrudo. And all the times I would draw Mermare, I would use Sekka's Light, I'd put Mermare back, and then I'd draw Mermare off of that Sekka's Light. I hate to see it. I'm getting so many nostalgic flashbacks now, I don't know why. Do we need to hit the fast forward button here while our man thinks? I think so. We'll fast forward. Alright, so it looks like after a lot of thinking, he is just past his turn after that. I thought I might have disconnected or something. That's how long it was taking. Standby phase. Alright, our purple is going to come back. Now, as it stands, we have game on board here at 26, 2025. That is a whopping total of 7,100 damage. Look at that quick maths right there. So the only thing that is saving him right now is a Gizmek, which is going to be able to block. I think it has 2450. So, yeah, 2450? I think so. 2450. So, if we attack with our strongest monster first. Oh, battle phase games, they get to me sometimes. The shenanigans. Standby phase. Wait, we will. I'm not quitting out of this one. This is almost a full match. We've committed. We've committed so hard to this. We can't let it go. Okay, we got to the main phase. We got to the main phase. I didn't think we'd get here. Okay, yeah. He didn't have anything. I'm going to save this replay. What was in his hand? I want to save that. All right, so we're up 2-0 here. Let's go watch this replay. What was in this guy's hand? I have to know. I have got to know. Oh my God, his hand was awful. He passed, not because he was trying to play around Mekk-Knights, but because he literally couldn't do anything. Wow. You hate to see it. I thought he was being cheeky with the whole, you know, I'm not going to do anything, and therefore you can't. Ash Blossom after Ash Blossom, double Gamma. Oh my. You hate to see it. The rank up launch, oof. I want to see this play out again. This obviously is a little deja vu, but we hit him with the Drippy Droppy. He goes for Galatea. Hit him there. Goes for Ding. We go for, well, we try to anyways, but he has the Ash because he has 2 of them. And the set card, so this set card was totally a bluff. Actually, well, yeah, it is totally a bluff because it has to have no materials. Yeah, that set card was totally a bluff. And it was a spell card too. Both the Gammas are dead. You hate to see it. We go for Girsu. So I don't know what he was thinking on. Maybe he was just trolling. I don't know. I want to see what he drew for turn, actually. That'll be really interesting to see. So we go for the Galatea. We shuffle that back into his deck. send that off. Again, I should have done that in the opposite order with, you know, spinning back the ding and sending. So, yeah, that Rhoda literally was his saving grace. We turned it off, and he passed. And, yeah, that's just game right there. Activating anything would have literally cost, if we would use this purple, that would have literally potentially cost the game there. So, it's a good thing we didn't. All right, well, that is going to do it for this episode of the testing sessions. I think that has got to be one of the smoothest episodes of the testing sessions that I've had in a little while. I'm not even going to test my luck, honestly, with doing another match. We get in, we get out. It hasn't even been an hour yet, which is good. Because some of these recording sessions are brutal. Like the Speedroid one took me 2 hours to get 2 matches. And I don't even think half of them were full matches. But, so... like, I like the Extrav build. Yes, we did have a worst case scenario there where all of our Morning Stars got banished, but we were still lucky enough to keep all of our Libs and a Galatea. And if you can keep Libs and Galatea, right, you can still find Avermax, which is really good, and you still get the spin in the process, and you still have access to Ding like we did there. The Book of Moons, the droplets, everything was fine. Yeah, and I think I pretty much said all that I wanted to say about the deck. The hand trap lineup is a bit weird. I thought about playing Gamma. There was a time where I was running a Gamma engine in here, obviously 3 Gamma, 1 driver. But I like Nibiru quite a bit. Nibiru has become a lot more of a higher impact hand trap this format, specifically because of Link Cross's absence. Big combo decks are no longer able to make, you know, cards like Herald before Hauka Fireaxe comes out. But this actually may change to Ash Blossom. Again, more control decks that are coming out, or coming out of the woodwork that are being more played in meta scenes like Eldic Zoo, Eldic variants, Zoo variants, more control variants. Like Nibiru might not be the best against those decks specifically. So I might swap the Nibiru out with things like Ash. Like I said, this might just become double Lightning Storm, but still Geki Duster feels very good. Or maybe even this becomes Red Reboot, I'm not sure. But Red Reboot feels like maybe a little too overkill for this deck because, yes, it can OTK, but it definitely does have slow turns. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Side deck. The side deck is another thing, too. I might try to find Droll and put it in the side deck. I'm not entirely sure. If anything, I might cut the summon limits. But I do want a very going first heavy side deck because, as you saw, people are going to make us go first solely on the fact that we are playing Mekk-Knight. And again, with a blind second list like this, one that relies solely on Girsu as its only engine, is its only prime way to get its engine going, independent of what the opponent has done. You know, you're going to need cards in the side deck that are going to give you a better backbone going first. Things like the artifact package. For me, specifically choosing something like Summon Limit. But that might change. I don't know. I might put in like Ice Dragon's Prison. That card is becoming a little pricey right now, so I mean, I could see why some people might not want to play it, but overall, feeling pretty confident. We'll revisit Mekk-Knights again here in the testing sessions. I might update the deck list. I don't know. The deck list, although, is pretty much the same as the last time I updated it, so, like, if anything, these might become, like, Ash Blossoms, like that, and then these might just become Lightning Storms, I guess. So that, in a nutshell, is all that I might change. And these might become Droll and Lock because Droll and Lock is becoming exceedingly good against that Drytron strategy. So that actually might be what the sideboard looks like going into this next format. The Waking the Dragons are interesting too. I've always felt really confident about Waking the Dragon in Mekk-Knight, but this might just come out for maybe Nibiru's or something along the lines of that. The one confliction that I've had with Nibiru in here is that it makes Girsu a little bit weaker. But if you're Nibiruing them and you have your Nibiru on field, the fact that you're not getting the token doesn't really matter because they still have a token on their field for you to work with. And, you know, you still have the extra body in the form of Nibiru on your field. So I might cut the Waking the Dragons. They might be a little bit too, like, low impact. I might drop the Trap Tricks. But then, see, the thing is, becomes, like, we have so many going second cards in the side deck, so, which I obviously don't want it to become too going second heavy, because that will create issues. So, Ice Dragon's Prison, you know, we could easily throw that here in the side. And then we have one other side deck card to put in, potentially, which I don't even know what it would be. Maybe we just drop the Drolls. Do Artifact Sanctum, just doing some on-the-spot stuff here. Probably nothing that's going to be set in stone. Do that, and maybe do Trap Tricks, I guess. Do like 2 copies of Trap Trick, and then on top of that, maybe we can do like 2 Gamma Seal. That honestly seems like better. Just lots of good trap cards, and then maybe a little bit extra firepower if we do have to go second in the form of Gamma Seals. So I think that is actually not too bad. The Lightning Storms, like I said, mainly just because of the meta shift, and again, Link Cross being lost does hurt the deck, but as you can see, nothing really along the lines that came up within these small games that we were able to play. So hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a like if you did, and don't forget to check out the ways you can support the channel in the description, and I hope you guys are having a nice day, and thank you so much for watching. WinterKill signing out. We'll see you in the next one. And as always, a huge shout out goes to our Divine level channel members here on YouTube, and they are Academic Thick, Zors, and Cadillacs84. As always, thank you guys so much for your continued and very generous support of the channel.